Hi there, welcome back to the Kelowna Chronicles, episode 26. Another great top 10 for you. These are the top 10 things, or unusual things that Filipinos do. Just so that you know, this isn't anything bad. This isn't a derision of Filipinos, because they're great people. They're just very unique at what they do, and it always makes me smile at their ingenuity. So if you want to learn more, back in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back to Kelowna Chronicles, episode 26, top 10 unusual things Filipinos do. As I was trying to say before, I got so rudely interrupted by my neighbor, who's decided to drill every hole he can and make his house into a Swiss cheese. Calm down. We'll now carry on with our top 10. Regular service has been resumed. Okay, this is not a bad take on the Filipinos. It's actually a very good take because I find them very ingenious individuals. They come up with solutions where we only find problems. And this is one of those top 10s that makes me smile because I know what they're like. Okay, there's only one bad one and that's number 10, but it's how you want to take it. But these are things to expect when you go to the Philippines, and hopefully 2021 will be our year and we can get back or go for the first time, whichever you're doing. So, at number 10, unfortunately, animals are left to wander. We're not just talking about dogs and cats. We're talking about chickens, geese, ducks, goats, etc., etc. Usually in the provincial areas, you'll find that houses and that, you'll see these creatures running around everywhere and even onto the roads. Sometimes it can be quite dangerous, but this is all part and parcel of what happens in the Philippines. And at first it'll freak you out, but you get used to it over time. If you're driving, just be careful, okay? Just be aware of what's around you. Okay, at number 9. This amuses me because this is a standard footwear in the Philippines, and those are flip-flops, also known as chinilas. You can expect to see them everywhere, at weddings, at funerals. They will wear them for any occasion. And this is just standard. So don't be put off by it. I mean, not everybody has to wear dress shoes to go to a wedding or dress shoes to go to a funeral. Okay? In the Philippines, expect to see it. Don't be surprised. They will wear them riding their bikes, driving their cars, which I know they shouldn't, but there you go. And for us, it'll be unusual because we'd only wear them for the beach or for walking in summer. They wear them all the time. As I say, this doesn't knock them. This is just what they do. And I find it amusing because I started to do the same as well. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do, eh? Okay, moving on to number 8. Basketball. In episode 25, I mentioned this. They will play basketball at any time and anywhere, even in the middle of a road. If there's a hoop, they will play. The Filipinos have a great passion for basketball. It is the number one sport there, and they all play. And I've seen some amazing, amazing players. Really, they could have been scouted and taken onto the teams because they are just amazing. So expect to see that and expect to see them play a lot. If you don't want to get involved, you can always sit down and watch them. But it's one of those things. It is the sport to be had there, and it is what they do. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of the time that you're moving around the area there and you see people playing basketball. Any chance that they get, they love it. Okay, on to number 7. You may have to encounter a funeral there. I hope you don't. Funerals are never good, but it is part of life. And like funerals everywhere, you'll get a great congregation of people and they will attend the funeral. There's only one thing that you need to be wary of. We've seen it here in Gibraltar with a Filipino family, and it's something that we have to expect. Recent Filipino culture has been, at number 7, having photos and videos at funeral. So that's number 7 for you. It is a normal thing for them to take photographs or record videos at funerals. We may see this as disrespectful. We may see this as somewhat wrong. However, that's not the case in the Philippines, and we have to respect that. It's their culture, and it's part of what they do. They will take it for posterity, the same way you would look at a photo album. That's for them. And therefore, don't get upset if you see it happen. Don't flip your lid, and certainly don't make mention of it. It's not your thing. All right, guys, then moving on to number 6. Fiestas for any celebration, even funerals. The Filipino are very jovial people. They're very happy people. And they will find any excuse to have a fiesta. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, celebrations of any kind, graduations, achievements. And they'll put on a big fiesta party. They will go the whole hog. Speaking of hogs, they'll have a lechon, a baked pig, and all the trimmings with it. If you're ever invited, go, you'll enjoy it. To be honest with you, this is normal culture for them. It makes me smile every time, because obviously when you first go there for the first time, all these things are like, huh? But you get used to it. Okay, at number 5, the Filipinos are very direct people. If they get to know you, they will ask you things very directly. They will ask you about your wage, they will ask you about your job, and they'll want direct answers back. They won't, quibble about it. For them, it's very direct. So don't be offended by it. I mean, you may want to keep your wage a secret. Give a figure less than what you make. That's fine. But this is, for them, they're not trying to pry. They're not trying to size you up for what you make. What they're doing is very simply just trying to get to know you. And they'll get to know you at every opportunity that they can. Whether it be about your work, whether it be about your salary, whether it be about your marital status, whether it be about where you live, etc., etc. How old you are, what job you do, what education you have. This is standard in the Philippines. Don't be upset by it. Yeah, it's, it gives you a bit of a kick in the teeth when you first hear these questions. And you're thinking, why is this person being so forward? In our culture in the West, we're not that forward. Okay, we'll work around to that in conversation. We're not that direct. We'll go around in circles till we get there. And we do get there, but they're more direct. So expect that from the Filipinos, and don't be offended by it. That's just their way. This is something that you'll have to learn if you're going to the Philippines. Okay, at number 4, vulcanizing. What is vulcanizing? That's where if you're on a motorcycle, you've rented a motorbike for the day or whatever, and you've had a blowout. A nail's got stuck in your tire, you're out of air, flat tire, what do? Normally in most streets in the Philippines, you have vulcanizing areas. These are a couple of guys or girls, and they'll have their own homemade gas-burning vulcanizing kit, where in seconds alone, they'll take your wheel off your bike or leave it on, pull off the wheel, take out the inner tube, and repair the wheel there within 20 minutes. It'll cost you maybe £1 or $1 or $2 or whatever to get it repaired, maybe less. It depends on where you go. And you'll be back on the road within 20, 30 minutes. You can go get a coffee or a burger or something. By the time you're done, your bike's ready to go. They are very, very quick at their job. And it lasts. It's not a small repair. This is a big repair. They will heat up the rubbers to seal them together. And it's one of those really cool things where I don't want to leave. I just want to watch them do it. We wouldn't see it in the West. We'd have to take ours to a specific shop and have the wheel done, and probably have to have the bike or car put on the back of a truck and taken to the garage or whatever to have these repairs done. But the Filipinos, in their ingenuity, will do it there and then. Charge you a small amount of money, and you'll be back on the road. It's one of the coolest things ever. And for motorists, it is one of the best benefits. Instead of having to call the Automobile Association or the RAC or Green Flag or whatever they have in America in response to that, it's just as easy and cheaper to get these guys to do it. And they're very good. They'll look after your bike. They won't make a mess of your bike. They'll make sure that your wheel is perfect. And they're trustable. They are very trustable. So, is that a word, trustable? I don't know. Anyway, you can trust them, basically. Don't worry about that. Those are little things that can be fixed. All right. Now, another trait that the Filipinos have, at number 3, they raise their eyebrows to confirm something or to say yes. It's one of the things that used to freak me out, something chronic, because my wife used to do it all the time. So I'd ask her a question from say, the kitchen or something, and I'm waiting for an answer, and I can't hear anything. And I'll look at her, and I says, you haven't said yes or no. She goes, I raised my eyebrows. Like that. I don't know if you can see it, but... And it's one of those things that freaks me out. My kids and my niece do it to me all the time. And over the years, I've got used to it. But at first, because we're not used to it, we're more accustomed to people saying yay, nay, or whatever, it becomes a bit freaky, and you're like, huh? But it is the coolest thing ever, because that's how they do it. It's the same as when we nod, yes or no. They'll just raise their eyebrows, And, it's one of those things, one of those small traits that at first you're freaked out by it, but then you think it's cute. So, it's one of those things. Right. At number 2, they purse their lips to point. Now, I don't know if I get this right, but if I want to know somewhere, I'll say, honey, where's this thing? I don't know if that's correctly done, but that's more or less it. They will use their lips to point. They won't go like that, like we would. They would just literally purse their lips in a kissing motion and point the direction of where this thing is. And that freaks me out just as much as the eyebrows. Because I'm still trying to find half the things that I've asked for. But look, this is another of the wonderful traits of the Filipinos. And the more you get to know them, the same way that people would come to your country and learn from you, you tend to learn from them. And then you find yourself doing the same thing. But that's cool, because that's what the experience of life is to learn from other cultures. And not to get upset by it. Okay. And finally, a thing that you won't see in most places. You'll see it in some Asian countries, but more so in the Philippines than anywhere else. And that is habal-habal. I'll try to put a picture somewhere here of habal-habal, and I'll have pictures somewhere for the rest of the things. Habal-habal. How can I explain it? Obviously, the motorbike for the Filipinos is a family car. All right? And if you've got a large family, they're going to find ways of putting you on that bike. Plank of wood at the back. Mama sits on the plank of wood. Papa sits at the front, ready to drive. A child between his legs, a child between him and his wife, a child on her back, 2 children sitting on the wood plank, and grandma sitting on the back of the rack that the goods carrying rack at the back of the bike, and you'll have 6 or 7 people on board the bike, and the bike goes off. I mean, I know the police have tried to stop it over the years, and you were not going to stop that. That is something that's going to carry on. It is the cutest and funniest thing you're ever going to see. Probably one of the most dangerous, but they're used to it. I've seen them. I used to see them riding 3 on a bike, where in the West, we're more used to 1 driver, 1 pillion. You wouldn't have more than 2 people on a bike unless it was desperation. In the Philippines, they'll 3, 4 on a bike, up to 6, 7, perhaps even 8. And if you search, if you search YouTube, I'm sure there are videos on that. But that is the number one thing that always makes me smile, because it is one of the most unusual things, and we certainly wouldn't see it in the West, whether it be in America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. You know, you wouldn't see it in places like Hong Kong or Singapore. I mean, you'd be arrested. You might see it in places like India and things like that, and China perhaps, but you wouldn't see it in Europe, that's for sure. I mean, as soon as that happened, the people would be arrested. So, yeah, those are my top 10 unusual things that Filipinos do. Remember, there are many more, because these are just cute traits that I find about the Filipinos, and it makes them more special. They're not bad. I'm not trying to use this in a derogatory sense. I never would. And anybody that knows me and knows my channel knows that I have a great passion for the Filipinos. They're great people. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification buttons. If you're a regular viewer and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I've enjoyed this one. It was a bit of fun. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I should have another one coming out soon, episode 27. So, from me, Perry at the Calendar Chronicles, see you again soon. I recently launched live stream number 5. If you want, you can review it. You might like it, you might not, who knows. Like or don't like, your call. And I'll try to have more for you. And if you want to participate in them, please do. The more participation, the better. And the more topics, the better. If you want to know anything more about the Philippines that I can help you with, or if I can't help you with, I can find out for you, please leave a message in the comments and we'll see what we can do. Anyway, from me, Perry at the Calendar Chronicles, I wish you a good start to the year, and let's hope we can get rid of this bloody awful, god-awful virus, and we can get back on with our lives. Hope and happiness to all. And that's me. I'm out. Bye-bye.